So, we have basically more like cities of refuge because if someone accidentally kills someone else, they can flee to this city. Witnesses, how to take a witness. A matter must be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. Notice it doesn't say anything about the gender. It doesn't. Oh, that's just modern day sensibilities. Oh, really? Are you sure about that? Are you absolutely positive? Oh, no. Sure about that? Because I'm pretty sure no, it's not. But let's go look at the. So we go to Bible Hub. This is 15. And let's see. Alone, a witness, not sufficient, yet any wrongdoing or sin against a man against a man offenses it's a by testimony of 2, 3 witnesses. It doesn't say anything about gender in the original Hebrew. You might think, but it's a masculine plural. That's gendered language. That's because the word witness is considered masculine, not because it's saying only men can be witnesses. Yes. So yeah, women can be witnesses. There's no reason why they can't. It's just one witness is not enough. Why? Because it's basically he should see said type thing. Anyway, when going to war against your enemies and see horses and chariots and the army greater than yours, do not be afraid of them, because the Lord your God, who brought you up out of Egypt, will be with you. Yes. So don't be afraid. When you march up to attack a city, make its people an offer of peace. Oh, so first, offer peace. Don't just go in there and slaughter them. If they accept and open their gates, all the people in it shall be subject to labor and shall work for you. Yeah. That's basically how for forced labor. That's how the thing is what you're supposed to do. This is kind of what you do back then. So, atonement for unsolved murder. Basically, what if like someone was just found dead, lying in the middle of nowhere? What do you do? Well, you do this. The priest of the sons of Levi shall step forward, for the Lord your God has chosen them to minister. And then all the elders of the nearest town, the bodies of the nearest the body, shall wash their hands over the heifer that was slain, and whose neck was broken in the valley, and shall declare, our hands did not shed this blood, nor did our eyes see it done. Accept this atonement for your people, Israel, whom you have redeemed, O Lord, and do not hold your people guilty of the blood of an innocent man. So no witch hunts, no, you don't know who it is? Because you don't. Now here's where the controversy, because people want to use this to justify sex slavery, and people not thinking at all. Instead of saying no, this doesn't, and just take every conceivable way they could possibly justify it, because there is no justifying sex slavery. They just take it all away, saying it does, and therefore the Bible's fake. Yeah, geniuses, that doesn't work. They just think you're attacking the Bible. If you actually provide evidence, proof, and just simple context and say, no, it doesn't, you're basically taking the fuel away from the fire. You're showing them to be wrong, and yet you're not attacking the Bible, and therefore you're taking down their one defense. Stop giving them a defense. So no, this isn't about sex slavery. Okay, so yes, when you go to war against your enemies, and the Lord your God delivers them into your hands and take captives. If you notice among the captives a beautiful woman and are attracted to her, you may take her as your wife. You're only supposed to have one of. That there's certain rights to, not your sex slave. Bring her into your home and have her shave her head and trim her nails. Put her aside the clothes she was wearing when captured. Get her new clothes. Take care of her. After she had lived in your house and mourned her father and mother for a full month. So wait, you can't just go and have sex with her. And then you may go to her and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. So, you can't just automatically go and have sex with her. Oh, wow. It's almost like this section isn't about sex slavery. And here's where all the people, both sides, quote unquote, even though they're really saying the exact same thing, ignore the last verse. If you are not pleased with her, let her go whenever she wishes. So she can go if she wants to go. You must not sell her. Oh wait, that won't work as sex slavery, would it? Or treat her as a slave. She's not your slave. Since you have dishonored her. You're at fault here. She's completely innocent. Yeah, that doesn't sound like sex slavery now, does it? Really better those people who want to justify sex slavery and the people who hate the Bible because they think it justifies sex slavery. Make the exact same arguments, say the exact same thing, and ignore the exact same verse. Because there's no difference between them. None. Okay, then the right of the firstborn. But if a man has two wives, not saying he should. He should, and he loves one but not the other, and both sons bear him sons, but the firstborn son is the wife he does not love. So, what to do? This is a conundrum. He must not give rights of the firstborn to the son of the wife he loves, and runs to his actual firstborn, the son of the wife he does not love. Ooh. See? No playing favorites. Jacob. If it was all made up, why have the patriarchs so blatantly break the commandments? Why not show them as perfect paragons, obeying every one of the commandments, and say, just like Jacob didn't favor Joseph. Yeah. Okay, here's the other controversial one that shouldn't. Why? Because people, for some reason, when they hear, if a man has a stubborn and rebellious son, son who does not obey his father and mother and will not listen to them when they discipline him. Think a toddler, because toddlers don't like listening to their parents, or 12-year-olds sometimes don't like you listen to their parents, or teenagers especially don't. But again, they're just ignoring verses, the same verses that people who try to justify beating their kids will also ignore. So both sides are arguing with the same amount of information, and neither side is really proving the other wrong, because neither side really cares and thinks they're just attacking. When if you just listen to what the parents say, this son of ours is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey us. He is profligate and a drunkard. A drunkard. How many 12-year-olds get drunk? How many toddlers get drunk? How many 13-year-olds get drunk? 16-year-olds? Not that many. No, none at all. The exact type of person. This is a fully grown adult. Okay, so what does profligate mean? Does this also help clue? Yes, in some translations it does say child. But guess what? You're always the child of your parents, no matter how old you are. You're always their kid. That's how it works. Yes, completely given to disposition, ludicrousness, sinfully immoral. What's a prolific? Exceedingly wasteful and extravagant, and often to the point of self-indulgence. Another translation will put it as glutton. Why was glutton so much of a thing back then? A big sin that involves stoning people to death? Because gluttony was basically murder. You only have a limited amount of resources that can only go out to so many people. Gluttony is basically taking so many of those resources all to yourself, basically food, and eating more than what the town, the city, the small farming village could support. And making other people starve because they're not getting their food because you're eating it all. Yeah, that's gluttony. It's not getting fat today. No, we have so much food that someone would literally need to could eat themselves to death and not be considered even close to the type of glutton the Bible talks about. Not even close. We actually have more of a problem with homeless people not wanting to go to homeless shelters. Yeah, we have plenty of food. They didn't. And because they didn't, if someone just started eating it all, more people are going to starve because they're literally on a razor's edge. Sometimes they would just not have a harvest that year. And what are they going to do if someone ate like half or 90% of all the grain? Oh yeah, starve? Die? So yes, abusing your child is wrong, and sex slavery is wrong, and no, the Bible doesn't support it. And no, you're not attacking or debunking or doing anything against those two movements by saying the Bible supports it, and therefore the Bible is fake. You're not. Because an internal critique coming from someone who agrees with the Bible, or at least says the Bible has a lot of good moral teaching, is way more powerful than someone who just hates it, because they can just be dismissed as a hater. This is something even Cosmic Skeptic can get behind before he, gone completely mad and crazy and thinking people being shot was a good idea. It's not. Yeah. So, yes, those are some more things. So, if we continue, we got some various laws, like if you see your brother's ox or sheep straying, do not ignore it. Be sure to take it back to him. But if he does not live near, take it home with you and keep it until he comes looking for it. Yes. A woman must not wear men's clothing, nor a man women's clothing, for the Lord your God detests anyone who does this. Okay, what does that mean? Well, considering everyone was just wearing like tunics back then, it's clothing pertaining to women, or clothing pertaining to men. So no, jeans are now considered gender neutral in our society. They are, meaning they're not men clothes, they're not masculine. Hoodies are considered gender neutral because a girl or a woman could wear a hoodie and still look plenty feminine and still look like a girl. The whole point of this verse is essentially don't try to look like the other gender. If you see a woman in jeans and think she looks like a dude, that's your problem. Oh yeah, if you come across a person besides the road, on the ground, and the mother sitting on the young or the eggs, do not take the mother with the young. Why? Why not? That would be cruel. She can have more babies, more eggs, and replace them. So probably if it's on the side of the road, that means that this fell off and the eggs are cracked and the young are dead, and the bird doesn't understand that. So taking them away actually will help the bird realize they're gone and go get more. Yeah. But yeah, when you build a new house, make a parapet around the roof so that you may not bring the guilt of bloodshed on your house if someone falls off the roof. We don't go on roofs modern day, but back then they do. And then all these don't plant 2 carrots of seeds, do not wear clothes of wool and linen woven together. Don't, in other words, this is supposed to be don't mix good and bad. And say it's supposed to get that more don't mix things you shouldn't. There's things you shouldn't mix. Supposed to get that kind of thinking in your head. Marriage violations. Okay, and then more controversy. First thing, you don't think a woman being raped by a man wouldn't scream for help, really, in any situation. And this is where some translations just do it wrong. Again, we go to Deuteronomy 22. Because for some reason, the NIV says rapes in one version. But yeah, no, it doesn't in new versions. Because why? The word rape isn't there. Lying with another man's wife. That's that. Okay. Okay, we go to Deuteronomy 28. I want to know. Word rape? Is it talking about rape? No. Okay, it does. Yeah, it doesn't say rape in the. It does. It's Daniel's version. It was not patrol. Yes. Does it really? Non-consensual? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Excuse sir. Calls it supposed to lie the consenting adult to sue. Yeah, because it is. It's two consenting adults. The word rape isn't in. Yeah, it could be manipulated. Yeah, the word they're translating as rape means to lie down. Yeah, that's the word they're translating as rape. that's just assuming. In the actual context is a woman who is having fun times with her boyfriend. Yeah, if you want to know more, there's plenty of videos on the internet about it. Anyway. Exclusion from the assemblies, like who cannot enter the assembly and for how long, what to do with uncleanliness in the camp. If a slave takes refuge with you, do not hand him over to his master. Yeah, no women, man or woman of Israelite. It should be a from prostitute, yeah, for the assembly. No Amorite or Moabite or his descendants may enter the assembly of the Lord, even down to the 10th generation. That would include David, wouldn't it? Interesting. Punishment for rape is death. Okay. And first fruits, tithes. Yes, all that. Then we get to the more interesting parts of Deuteronomy, nearing the end, and that will be for later. So rape bad, rape punishment, death, having fun times with your girlfriend, not death. But you're married now. Yeah. It's just a bad translation. If you have any questions, there's Mike Wiener or Ancient Egypt and Bible. Yeah, that's all for now. See you later.